because now I'm doing that thing where I'm not moving. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, slow down for a sec.
Is it slowed down now?
No, you're good. You're good.
All right, I'll troubleshoot my camera before our next show. We got to just roll for now.
Mhm. Yeah.
All right, you ready to roll then?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, what's good, everybody? We back again from the Ashes We Rise, the Black Phoenix podcast, MC and TR. Thank y'all for hanging out for one more week. We appreciate it. Go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave your comments. We try to respond to as many as we can. TR was good.
What up, everybody? It's gonna be a fun weekend too because the Eagles are going against the Redskins. Yes, I said Redskins. NFC title game though. I think the Eagles can get through this because I forget the quarterback's name, but he's having a really good season. So I mean, it's gonna come to an end that weekend, but he's having a really good season.
Man, I don't know. He been cooking, man. I don't know, but I mean, more power to y'all if y'all can pull it off. But he's cooking. Jaden Daniels is his name, man.
Oh
He's
yeah.
hell of a rookie year.
Yeah, and also I want the Bills to beat the Chiefs because I just can't do it. I mean, I would love for the Chiefs to if the Eagles win. I do want the Chiefs to play the Eagles, but then also want the Bills to beat the Chiefs. So you know, it'd be
I
pretty nice.
pretty much think everybody outside of the state of Missouri is tired of the Chiefs right now, and you can go on IG and easily see reels and reels of. It seems like they want Mahomes to be the face of the league, and he's getting that extra protection, so to
Oh
speak.
yeah,
So yeah, we'll see how that goes, man.
oh yeah. All right, let's get the show going. All right, start it.
Submissive and following your husband. And say what you want about Melania because I see people so many times saying, well, I don't think she likes Trump, or I doubt they're having sex, or I doubt. But when it appears that if he says jump, she says how high. When he moved, she moved just like that because people thought, oh, is she going to be at the RNC? Yes, she's been right by his side. And I'm sure, she has gone to events that she didn't want to be at, but she actually showed up to support her husband. And who is Barack going to lean over to and cover his mouth and say something if Michelle is just constantly, I'm not going, I'm not going? And he probably has accepted that this is his life when really he needs to look at Michelle and say, Michelle, this is what's going to happen. But he can't even do that because we have really conditioned society, like you said, the black woman is untouchable. And I just think it.
We're gonna stop it right there. I don't know who that lady is. This is a clip from Jason Whitlock's podcast, and I guess the lady's name. Let me see if it is. I like to give credit, folks. But anyways, yeah, Jason Whitlock had a conversation about are black women the new sacred cow, and I would say yes, but also black women end up being the fall guy for the Democratic Party, or at least for the social media companies out there, because um, we look at Biden partying everyone in his family and then partying other people that were on the January 6th committee. He didn't really pardon any black people that were going after Trump. I would at least think he would have pardoned Fannie Willis. Fannie Willis didn't get a pardon. And however you feel about Fannie Willis, I believe she broke the law, and she also misused campaign taxpayer funds. But she didn't get a pardon. So everyone in Biden's family got a pardon, and she didn't get a pardon. So that's why I kind of believe that black women end up being like a fall guy for the Democratic Party, because You have people bigging up all these black women, and look what happened with Kamala Harris. She didn't. I mean, she barely got out the blocks.
Look, there's so many different ways I can approach this, but let's just grab the bull right by the horns. What do the Democratic Party and the Black American culture have in common? They're run by black women.
Yeah.
When
Well,
I hear, and first of all, I love black women, so don't get sensitive. And I'm just telling you the facts. The fact of the matter is,
oh, we
y'all
got
are
to
the most
qualify
loyal
that.
people. It's crazy that I do have to qualify that, but I do because people tend to get hypersensitive and take stuff the wrong way.
Hey,
You run the Democratic Party. You are the reason.
I said, give me that.
You are the reason why that party is in the position that it is right now. So let's keep in the context of Michelle Obama. Let's talk about this because I've said this before. Whoever you marry, men, however she conducts herself is a reflection of your masculinity, right?
Mhm.
It's also very important that whoever you marry understands that the family unit is more important than her own personal needs. So let's do a little rewind, shall we? Michelle Obama, on multiple occasions, has proven what I've always suspected that this party is anti family. She literally told wives that your vote is a private matter. You don't have to discuss it with your husband. Okay, fine. If that's the way you want to approach this, fine. But that is an anti-family concept. You should be with somebody who are you're equally yoked to. You have similar morals. You have similar philosophies about the family structure. So she is openly calling for women who are in committed relationships to sever that bond.
Yeah, she said that at the Democrat convention. What was that in Illinois?
We,
On
we talked about
stage.
it on the previous episode.
Yeah.
We went into that. Now, this is after when she was doing her tour, I think it was the View or the Talk or something, where she openly admitted at times she doesn't like her husband.
Hmm.
Okay, that makes her human, but why are you telling a large group of strangers this? I think there's something going on here where, look, Obama had the hot hand, right? Was she jealous of that? Like, what is she looking to get out of all of this? It's particularly when we as white people have the lowest marriage rates and family rates as is. Everybody's rates are declining, by the way. So it's not, but it's just affecting us even worse. But they keep pushing these anti-family narratives and then get frustrated when they backfire on them. People ain't trying to hear this stuff, man.
Yeah.
Men, choose wisely because how your wife conducts herself is a reflection of you. And people who are anti-marriage or anti-Obama, they're looking at this weakness and this armor that she just exposed to the world, and they're going to keep poking at it. And I do want to give credit to that black lady who was just talking because another thing is she's absolutely right. Black women can't be criticized, at least not on a public scale. If you try to, and they're going to come for her, they're going to call her a pick me. They'll probably dig up some personal information on her to try to embarrass her. We know all of these tactics and techniques. But at some
Some
point, you're going to have to figure out how these gender role things are going to go. Because if you want to be the man, then be the man. That means your competition. But if you want to be the woman, okay, be the woman then, and let's build something together. And that's not what they're pushing right now.
Yeah. Let me see if yeah, we did do a story on that.
In this country.
Let's see if I can. Oops. Hold on.
While you doing that, I said this quote again. I'll say it again. If she can't be corrected, she can't be protected. And if she can't be protected, she shouldn't be selected. If you let these women out here doing stuff like this, they're gonna put you in a situation where you gotta crash out over something that they did. It looks really bad that he went to that inauguration by himself. Either y'all both gonna boycott it or y'all gonna walk up in there with your shoulders and your head up high
Yeah.
and stand on business, but you gotta do it together as a unit.
Yeah. And before I share this clip, people have made the comment that, well, Trump didn't go to Biden's inauguration, and we're I mean, for me, I'm speaking for myself. I'm not saying that was an okay thing, but I understand why he didn't go, because that is a situation where back in, leading up to the election, some shenanigans happen, and I still have yet to hear any liberal explain to me how did Biden get 12 to 15 more million votes then Kamala Harris, and then also Obama. Like, how did Biden he was the best candidate and he still got 12, 15 more million votes? There should be some questions of should be brought up. And also there were some investigations that were also brought up that some states found out that people were doing something with the ballot numbers, but that's just my 2 cents. But here, let me share this video here.
Yep.
But to anyone out there thinking about sitting out this election or voting for Donald Trump or a third party candidate in protest because you're fed up, let me warn you, your rage does not exist in a vacuum.
Did she say rage? Your rage? Who's she talking about? Who's she talking? Yeah. This was actually a little long clip, but yeah, that's Michelle Obama. That's the leader of the Black Brigade, I guess. They're absolutely right. There's just not anyone that could really check women in general. And then when it comes to Black women, like here's I look at the hierarchy is, men could already be checked by everybody apparently. But when it comes to white women, they can only be checked by Black women. And then when it comes to Black women, they can only be checked by gay men, specifically gay Black men. I think that's probably how maybe it's a push. I don't know. But that's as close as it gets. I mean, you have Michelle Obama just not showing up at the inauguration. And again, I guess I didn't finish that earlier thought, but Trump wasn't at the inauguration, but Melania wasn't there either. But Obama was at this inauguration, and Michelle should have been there. And so, like you said earlier, that is a reflection of Obama or his how he runs his household. And I've already had my doubts on Obama, and now I officially know for a fact that Obama don't run anything in his household. And this is one of the first times in history where the woman is outshining the first lady is outshining the president or former president. This is like crazy because this would never happen. We never really had this problem with. I mean, I don't know George Bush's wife or George Bush Jr.'s wife. I don't think. I'm trying to figure out what she looked like, just off rip, and then we hear about Bill Clinton's wife, and even though for the most part Hillary did get in the shadows, we were forced to have Hillary back in the spotlight back in 2016 and or actually 2008 and then 2016 because she was trying to run for office, but crazy times that we're in, and no one wants to call this out.
Yeah. I just posted 3 articles, but for now I'm gonna just stick with the first 2. Obviously, I'm the pro-marriage person here on the panel, and the reason why I'm focusing on this, first of all, don't look at the Obamas as a model for your marriage. Find some other role models. That's number one.
I
And
mean,
number
that's what the
2,
Black community. Well, I don't know if the Black community even looks at the Obamas
they did.
as the
And I don't know
ideal
if they
marriage.
still
I
do.
think they just look at Michelle as the ideal person they want to be.
In 2008, there were so many photos of that family, not just him floating around, and that was people's inspiration.
Yeah,
They
it's
wanted to
true.
see a
Yeah, the
strong
kids.
Black family. Now, I'm just talking about the Black folks. Now, everybody who listened to us that ain't Black, you might have liked the Obamas for some other reasons, but it was good to see something positive with us in regards to that. But now you see she's disrespecting him, and now she's not there for him in a vulnerable moment. They should have had this moment together, whether sit it out or go and show up and stand on business. But I say I am the type of person that looks at marriage because this is what I would tell you. It is the only way to break the poverty cycle in our communities.
Oh yeah.
There's 2 articles I just posted. This one is the financial benefits of marriage, but then there's another one with the City Journal where it talks about married people live longer, married people have implied contingencies. If something happens to one person and they die, the children are safer and happier. They tend to be more successful. There's
Mm-hmm.
still benefits to marriage, but it has to be executed correctly. You have to agree to what your gender roles are and move based on that. And that's the part that a lot of people are missing. So now let's keep it on the subject of politics because the Daily Mail just ran an article, and I don't look. This is the Daily Mail, so come for them, don't come for me. Madam VP is blaming her husband for losing the election. The husband that she knew everything about when she tied herself to him. Now she's
Allegedly.
blaming him for the election. Come on, y'all, do better, man. And I'm saying this as somebody. We say this all the time. I left the Dems in 2010. I saw this coming. There was not any voices for people like me in that party. I go where I'm celebrated. So I'm not gonna sit here and mess with all of this. You have decided that black women and LGBT are the faces and the voices of your party. So deal with it because you isolated everybody else. Now, are you going to learn your lessons or are you going to keep doing the same thing? Because right now it looks like y'all keep doing the same thing.
Oh yeah, they're going to definitely keep doing the same thing. And unfortunately, this whole Barack Obama thing, it's not even being. I mean, it's starting to catch a little bit of fire though. There's also another report that um, they may have a rocky marriage, and it would actually kind of explain some things because I did think it was a little awkward that uh, Obama or Barack and Michelle weren't really seen together during the whole election cycle. They're kind of like in different places, and they're probably just saying they're just campaigning in different places or campaigning, in different states though. But it was just really kind of weird. But I'm going to play this video of this TikToker talking about some rumors surrounding the Obama's marriage.
Saying, some
rumors are swirling that Barack Obama and Jennifer Aniston are having an affair, and that is the real reason that Michelle has been MIA. The real reason that she didn't attend Jimmy Carter's funeral, and the real reason that she's not attending the Trump inauguration. I had no idea that this is a rumor that's been going on since October, and that they were even on the cover of In Touch magazine. I guess I was too preoccupied with the presidential election. But I guess back in October, Jimmy Kimmel even asked Jennifer about it on his show. Watch this.
Do you ever worry about that? Like, for instance, this is a magazine that came out a couple of weeks ago. In fact, said the truth about Jen and Barack.
That was of all the calls you get from your publicist where you're just like, oh no, what's it going to be? Or the email saying, some cheesy tabloid is going to make up a story, and then it's that.
Yeah. Does
I
your
was not
publicist
mad
ever
at
go,
it.
like, is there any truth to this?
No, that is absolutely untrue.
Well, I know it's not true.
Yeah.
I just don't know if everybody knows.
Well, it is untrue.
Oh yeah, Jimmy, because we're all taking your word for it. Could it be possible that America's sweetheart could turn into a home-wrecking villain? Because we all know everybody would take Michelle's side. As always, I want to hear what you think about all of
it. First of all,
she better have her legal affairs in order. Because if you gonna make a statement like that, you better substantiate it with something. Because you know they got the legal team just sitting there, just rubbing their hands like Birdman.
Hey, for real.
Personally, I wouldn't touch that one. Look, what I'll say is this: it's very easy to tell whose marriages are strong and whose marriages are weak. I can with confidence say that that's a weaker marriage.
Yeah.
I can with confidence say my marriage is a stronger marriage. But
yeah,
stuff like this tends to start happening when you see these weaknesses. Now people are going to start poking and digging.
Yeah, you got to look at these marriages, and out of both these, well, 3 marriages. So we got the Trump marriage, you got the Emhoffs, and then you have the Obamas. And this is a crazy thing with Kamala is that she is on. I guess it's not a record, but she has a high turnover on her staff. And that's the conversation that most people did not want to have. They try to suppress that information, but she had an extremely high turnover of staff. People saying that she was hard to work with. And so I can only imagine, how that is when she's at home. And anytime they had photos or family gatherings that they posted, it always seems staged. It always seems like it was kind of fake and manufactured. So I mean, I would not be surprised if they end up getting a marriage, but most politicians just don't get a marriage. Even like I said earlier, the Clintons didn't get a divorce. Politicians at this level, I should say. But I would be surprised if they do get a divorce. I'd be even more surprised that, after leaving, after the whole Brad Jelena thing, she went to Barack Obama. That'd be wild just for her to be she would never go to work in Hollywood because for whatever reason, Michelle is untouchable. And Michelle's claim to fame is school lunches. Like, I don't know what it is. And she was supposed to be the person that was supposed to step in Kamala's role, because people were like, we should get Michelle to do it. No, your wives cannot do it. Most politician wives cannot do it. And for some reason, people thought, hey, Hillary did it, and look how that worked out. Kamala did it, and look how that worked out. Michelle couldn't do it. I'm on the believe. I thought it'd be, probably be highly contested. Nope, Michelle would not have won.
So I'm on the other side with. So I honestly I think it was admirable that she took that initiative on, because the food that they feed kids in public school is pretty trash. I'm fine with her accepting that. And generally speaking, first ladies take on some type of cause and start advocating for something. But I want to pivot back to Kamala real quick. I just posted an article from NBC. Do you know that she's had the highest employee turnover of anybody who's ever run for president ever? 92% since
Yeah,
2021.
you would think you would think that'd be a conversation that most people would bring up, but they don't bring this stuff up, though. They never bring this stuff up because it would have looked bad for Kamala. And that's why I have like the biggest issue with a lot of these news outlets, because they just constantly lie. So I knew it was a high turnover rate, but and I guess at the before he stepped out of the race, there were some complaints about Kamala, how she was hard to work with, but people suppressed that information. Black social media did not want to hear this conversation, and white liberals are too afraid to say anything bad about Kamala. And again,
TR, you want to guess what color the majority of the employees were that were complaining about her?
oh, they're white.
This is for the pro blacks. You want to guess what color they were?
Oh, black. Yeah,
They
black.
were black. The majority of the black employees were complaining that she was difficult to work with.
Yeah.
So pro blacks, what's your response to that?
Yeah,
What's
no,
your
they're gonna be quiet. They're definitely gonna be quiet. They
Yeah.
never want to have that conversation on. They always talk about how Trump and the people that worked with him, everybody was trying to dish tea, like, oh, everyone came out and said negative things. What about the people that they want to work with Kamala? Actually, I remember, I think Pink Book did a video on something related to this. So yeah, Kamala was hard to work with, and it shows in how people didn't want to work. People did not want to elect her. She could not get men on board. And then the people that they had people with the worst marriages, Obama and Michelle. Well, it remains to be said they have a worse marriage, but this is not a good look. That I forgot about the funeral, but yeah, she wasn't at the funeral and she wasn't at the Trump, and whatever BS excuse they want to say, MLK Day, or she didn't feel welcome or something. Like, you still have to show up for the inauguration. Like, I hate when people try to say, well, because the MLK Day, that's why she was doing it. No, you can still do an MLK event later that day, or you can go do something else, whatever it is. But you have to be at the inauguration. You are in the presidential royalty. You have to be there, and she wasn't there, and that makes Obama look weak. He was already weak from trying to convince black men. And remember his famous line, "I'm gonna get Michelle on y'all to get you to get the men in check." And he was talking to
That was
black
such
men.
a beta statement to make. That was so beta, man.
Yeah, and that's why old girl was like, "When Michelle, you need." That's why she was looking at that, because everybody know who run that household, and we officially know who run that household.
Man, can we get some masculinity back in the Democratic Party, please? Who's up
No,
next over there?
they're gonna have to napalm it. There's no way.
They shot themselves in the foot. They made this election an all-out assault on masculinity, and it came back and it bit them in the ass.
Yeah,
What you gonna do? How you gonna fix this, Dems?
Yeah, we don't have it on the topic list, but there was a woke bishop, female woke bishop, that was pretty much trying to take shots at Trump at a sermon, at a prayer sermon. supposed to do a prayer, not get on your soapbox and talk about your politics. But maybe that's a conversation for another day.
I want to close on this too because we didn't shift it slightly to politics, but I need y'all to understand something. She fumbled the Teamsters union vote, which has always been a lock and seal in for the Dems. But do y'all know why or how she fumbled that? As I try to fix my blurry camera, look, she walked up to the head of the Teamsters, put the finger in his face, and said, "You need to get in line."
Yeah,
That's not how you win votes. That's
yeah,
that's not how you win votes. All right, I'm gonna fade out and fix my camera real quick.
yeah. And just to talk about that, you're gonna have a lot of. I think women try to overcompensate when they're trying to lead men, and that was pretty much the problem with Kamala. And I can only imagine when if they had put Michelle in there, I think they would have lost way worse. I mean, of course, you would have the black community supporting her because they got to get in line. But I think she would have alienated more men from other races from voting for her. Like the Dems and the Diddycrats, they don't understand how to win this race. Like it's really not that hard, but they're gonna find out in 2028. You know, they're gonna lose another election. So
Yep, and it's not just black men that are walking away. The acceleration rate of the black women is going up too. So a lot of black women are seeing it too. So
yeah,
again, that's your most loyal voter base. Dems, what you gonna do?
exactly. All right, next topic.
Man, this camera is trash today. I gotta figure this out.
Oh yeah, all right. Do you want to?
Let's just do the white AK and get it out.
That's. Hold on. This is gonna be hilarious. Ah, you know what? We got a problem. I can't play the audio, but where I'm going with this, we won't need the audio.
Yeah, just play it on mute.
All right. All right, guys, I'm going to give you a snippet. All right. That's all we can do. We can't play the audio on this, but all right. So this video is a Caucasian woman. Apparently she's AKA, which I knew sororities had, or black sororities and fraternities do have white members, or members that are not melanated. But this one was actually trending, but I just happened to like just come across it, and I saw this girl on there. I'm like, what is she doing on here? And this is a second video for her. But if I go to the original video, this video has over. Oh, it doesn't even show it. But it has like almost like 1.8 million views. Like there are a lot of views on this particular page. And when I go to the comments, you know what? Oh, they erased.
Looks like they erased a lot of comments.
Wow, they erased the comments on this. Holy crap. Okay, all right, guys. All right, so the story here, part of the reason why I brought it up though, is that I don't care if somebody's white or whatever, and a black or any sorority or fraternity, whatever the case is. But I was blown away by the amount of comments that I saw on this video, though, as well as the views, because I thought it was really weird that there were so many comments. And when you go to this page, I should give credit to the owners of the video, where it's listed at, though, the Divine Nine bobbleheads. So when I look at this page and the rest of their videos, they have stuff probably like maybe in the 11,000 views. But on this particular person, I mean, this really broke the bank on engagement. And then also, I was kind of surprised to see the amount of people that were, okay with, really just welcome arms. And my thing is, when it comes to dealing with like people that are not, when I've seen it especially on social media, what I've seen is that that is normally not the case when a black person I mean, a white person comes into like primarily black organizations or spaces, and people they usually get pushed out. They usually there's a lot of conversations there, but this is the one where those conversations have been primarily positive. Now I don't know why they deleted the comments on it. I'm actually kind of surprised by that, but that's wild to me because I was looking at this a couple days ago, and this video was posted on January 14th.
Yeah, so full disclosure, I am a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, which is a D9 organization, right? I'll say that right now. Here's the thing, you're talking about a large organization with multiple chapters in multiple cities, multiple jurisdictions, right? But the standards of entry are the same. If she met the standards, what are you going to do? Um, if she has the character, she's doing work. Now, apparently, with this young lady, I happen to know some people familiar with her. She kind of grew up in that culture. She was really into dance and drill team and step and stuff like that in high school. And that transitions with her to college. That's the extent of what I know. But if she's a good person and she's doing the work, what do you want to do? That's one side of it. But the other side is it amazes me how people get excited to see white people do black things. Things that black people do like every single day. And it's like, oh, okay, that's fine. But then when a white chick or a white dude is doing it's you get 1.1 million views and 16,000 or however many it was comments. That's another way to look at it. And then from my third perspective, I'm gonna just tell a real quick story. So back when I was an undergraduate student, I was a part of the African American organization. We were basically doing good things for making sure black folks that went to college felt safe, secure. And we did things with high school students to prep them for college. We had a white chick that wanted to join AAO, right? And I remember it set off this huge debate because there were two people that was like, we don't know this girl. Let's not trust this girl. Why is she trying to join this? Like, what's up? What's going on? But everybody else being too inclusive and too welcoming and not doing proper vetting, we're like, oh yeah, just let her in, no big deal, right? So she joins. She comes to meetings. We come to find out later, this chick was taking a sociology class. It was studying us as an experiment for her sociology class. And she wrote some very damning things about us. Now, the one person, there were only two people who stood up and said, we need to vet this lady more and make sure she has good intentions. One of those people was my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife. She was one of the first people to speak up about that. And she took a lot of hell for it. But she was right. So here's what I'm saying.
Wait. Why did she take a lot of hell for it?
Because everybody wanted to be inclusive and welcoming and let anybody in who wanted to be in. But again, the conversation should be, and you have to ask hard questions, right? Why are you here? Like, I'm perplexed that you want to join an organization that primarily services the black community and you're not black. So what brought you here? That conversation, it's a fair question to ask. But people act like they're scared to ask it.
Yeah,
that's how I look at it.
That's why I was wondering, because this is, what I'm trying to think, like a little after 2000s. So I'm surprised that, wow, that's wild to me, because you're right, that is a fair question. People should be asking those types of questions, especially when I see a white person involved in black organizations. I was actually surprised to see that. Again, I wasn't even looking for any of this stuff. It just showed up in the algorithm. And I was like, oh, let me take a look at this, see what this is all about, though, because I saw her dancing and she was wearing the AKA letters. And I was like, oh, okay, let's take a look here. I'm going to pull up the second video because the comments are still there. Again, it's just, and then she actually has a conversation about this, too. So we could probably lead into that one as well, too. To see what she's referring to, or give some critique. All right, here.
From those, and the hate comments are ridiculous. I have so many that are being filtered because they're ridiculous. But tomorrow's Founders Day, and I'm going to celebrate and ignore all the hate. Happy Founders Day, Soros. Let's talk about it. So when I crossed with 90 other ladies. I did not take anybody's place. If they were not accepted into Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, it was because they didn't meet the requirements, GPA recommendations, community service, all the things that go into it. Had nothing to do with me if they did not make it. Another thing, I've been asked many, many times why I chose D9, and that is because when I was growing up in middle school, I joined the STEP team, an organization called Young Ladies for Positive Action, and they really, really taught us about the Divine Nine, frats, and sororities. When we went to our district STEP shows, all of our judges were the Divine Nine. We got to see them do their strolls. We learned all about them. A lot of the moves we did came from their signature moves. So that is why I love it. I love their values. I've always wanted to be an AKA since I was a little girl, and I did it. But I do appreciate all the love that I have received from those, and the hate comments are absolutely ridiculous. I have so many that are being filtered because they're ridiculous. But tomorrow's Founders Day, and I'm going to celebrate and ignore all the hate.
All right. When she says hate comments, who's she talking about? I know who she's talking about, but she can't even say who she's talking about. But that's besides the point. So these comments are still here, which for the most part, they're actually pretty positive comments. I took a look at them, and I think this one's way. If you guys want to take a look at it, go. Here it is. Here's the handle. But for the most part, the comments are pretty positive. So I guess for me, my question is, so when it comes to letting people that are absent of color into Black spaces, that's okay. That's where the line is. Because actually, I forgot about this whole thing where where white people or people absent of color can actually go into these Black organizations, because generally when I see stuff like this is probably in rap, of course with Eminem. And then I want to say I've seen if they're promoting or championing Black causes, like with the BLM, like at the time where BLM was what it was before it turned into buy large mansions. Like I saw where people were very, open to like white people, like, hey, denounce your whiteness, denounce let everyone know you're pre-privileged and you need to like start giving back to the communities. I was shocked that in this particular space is one of the places where white people can go and be extremely accepted. And I did see a comment where it said, if this was Black people in white organizations, the conversation is a little bit different, which I don't know how true that is. I can only go off of this particular story, but I'm pretty sure some people probably feel that way. But I'm not going to say it's due to racism, but on this particular case, she said the hate comment, she's only talking about Black people in that particular situation.
There were some. She caught some slack from some racist white folks too. But I wanna show something real quick. I'm gonna present my screen because I talked about a worst case example earlier, but now I want to share with you a best case example, and then we're gonna do a little bit of Black history. So, if you don't know who this woman is, her name is Joan Mulholland. She was one of the freedom riders, and when I tell you she was with the shit, she was with the shits. She got arrested multiple times for fighting for segregation in the South. Why am I telling you about this lady? Because she's a member of Delta Sigma Theta, a Black sorority. So you can get situations like this too, where they actually are passionate about the culture that they're coming into and want to contribute something positive. As a matter of fact, her son, whose name is Loki, is my frat brother. And he still does a lot of work for, he does a lot of great work in Black spaces, basically. He does a lot of great work, period. But he's still very much active in Black spaces. So
Mhm.
I wanted to call that out too. But ultimately, my takeaway is this. And one thing about the D9 is we stay out of other people's business. So that's why I'm really choosing my comments carefully. If she met their qualifications and they voted yes on her, what are you going to do? That's the bottom line. But I will also say one of the things that and I talk about this a lot, forced integration makes us weaker. If it happens organically and they're really passionate about coming in,
That's a
cool,
good point.
fine, whatever. but you can't force it, and you have to go through the same loopholes, the same processes and obstacles that everybody else did. And yes, we need to ask the questions to make sure that they are not culture vultures and actually care about what we're truthfully about and what we're trying to do. And I'll end it there.
Yeah, yeah, that's actually a good point though, because if you want to be there, you're going to do the work. You're going to do what what's required of you to be there. Because yeah, I don't know. It's just a very fascinating thing to see in this particular space where I guess white people can be accepted, but also I don't know. Maybe there's some limits to that conversation, or maybe there's some additional steps we can go or things we can look at though, because getting the hate comments and then getting feeling that you might be what's the word censored is also another conversation though that could be had though. But she's happy. I just thought it was very interesting to see the amount of interaction. But again, they did take the comments off of that first one, so you got to ask, why did they take the comments off?
Study character, don't study skin color. Study what they do, not what they say.
Right,
That's
right.
the takeaway.
Facts. All right, next topic. That one was pretty quick.
You better brace yourself. We might get some hate messages on that one.
I mean, honestly, I feel like we were kind of pretty safe on it, but you never know. Again, it's YouTube can be a tricky one. Oh, speaking of hate comments, this one is going to take it to another level. The Sexyy Red one. I can't, and there's a video in here. I can't play it because YouTube will strike it. But people get the point. All right, gang. Let's talk about everyone's favorite female rapper, Sexyy Red, who recently found herself into a predicament regarding Martin Luther King, as we just observed Martin Luther King Day. Now, what Sexyy Red did, she created this AI photo of her and MLK, and this is I mean, when I see people do stuff like this, it reminds me of the um, people put out those flyers come to the MLK party, which I don't know what the difference is, because she did an AI photo. Actually, she used Grok, looks like it at the bottom left. So she created this photo as AI photo, obviously, but she did get a lot of backlash on it, which rightfully so. But there's never no backlash for the people that create those flyers for the MLK parties. As you can see in this uh the additional photos. I can't remember if this is Dr. King's daughter or niece. I don't know. I'm sure chat will correct me, but she created this. I mean, she posted this video or posted this, made this tweet, which she's on. Looks like she's on. I think that's X. But this is intentionally distasteful, dishonoring, deplorable, and disrespectful to my family and my father, who is not here to. Father. Oh, there we go. Daughter, who is not here to respond for himself because he was assassinated for working for your civil and human rights and to end the war and poverty. Please delete. Which, um, excuse me, she actually did delete it, but it was kind of an interesting take though, because it reminded me of the conversation with B Simone, and there I felt like there was hardly no backlash for what B Simone said about Dr. King. I'm gonna pull that video up. MC, you want to get in there?
Yeah, so I'm wondering. Okay, let me just read some stuff off real quick. If you're extra sensitive or if you're super into church, close your ears. Coochie juice, booty hole brown, nut, pussy hole pink, yellow discharge, gonorrhea, blue balls, sex on my period. These are the flavors of her lip gloss. So are
Ew.
you surprised that she's really doing something like this? But you know what? Honestly, I've seen much worse disrespect of MLK. But ultimately, my takeaway here is we don't cherish our legends like we should, man. This man literally laid down his life so you could act this ratchet and do whatever you want to do, and you
Yeah,
just you don't respect it. This is trash behavior. I don't know why we keep accepting this.
Well, and to Glorilla, I know you guys will get mad about that. Sexyy Red, to her credit, she did say, I mean, she apologized. And I don't know how old Sexyy Red is, but she comes off very immature and she does a lot of crazy stuff. And just like you just highlighted, which I'm probably going to have to do a lot of editing on some of that stuff. She does a lot of crazy stuff. She does a lot of things that gets her attention. And if those things didn't get her attention, then she probably wouldn't be doing them. But she continues to do them. And she did take the post down. She did apologize. And it sounds like, and the daughter, his daughter did accept the apology, though. But my thing is, where's all the other hate comments of the folks that went after MLK? First of all, the people that don't even live up to his legacy. That's one conversation. And then most streets named after Dr. King are just generally in disarray. They're generally not the wealthy part of the neighborhood. You know what neighborhood or the folks that live there automatically without even having to visit that part of the town or the country. But again, it's where's the smoke? Because this is one of the things I thought was way more egregious. What B. Simone said about Dr. King. She said this a couple years ago. And I know it did go viral for a little bit, though, but we need to
play that.
Yeah.
Before you play that, there is one thing that Sexyy Red did say that did piss a lot of people off last year. She backed out of it, but last year, I don't know if you remember this, but she said she was voting for Trump.
Oh, yeah. People came after her.
That was probably the most heat she's ever had. All this other stuff she did, that's what she got the heat. She backed down from it, but she did say it.
Yeah, which is wild though, because those are things that will piss off the black community. If you're a conservative, you vote for Trump, or if you don't, you not get behind reparations. Like it's a weird monolith because black people love to say we're not a monolith, but then if you do something outside of which is what white liberals expect you to do, then people start saying you shucking and jiving. I'm like, come on, man. Like, you can't leave the Democratic plantation for anything. But, you know, that's how folks be. Let me.
Let me give you an example. He's a great father. He's a great father. He's a great father. He's a great businessman. He's a great CEO. He's an entrepreneur. He's such a boss. He's such a boss. He's a boss. Look at that man. He's a boss. Look at him. He's a great father. Look at him, that strong black man. Look at him being at his kid's game. Look at him. He's a great father. He's a boss. He's a strong black man. Look at him posting his wife. Look at him. Look at him. On date night. Look at him. But you're cheating on your wife. You're not a good husband. You're not a good communicator. You don't value her feelings, but he's great in all these other aspects. How are you a great leader, a great CEO, a great black man, a great father, a great leader in any aspect? You're not a great husband, a great communicator, a great... You're a liar. You're not great. You're not great. You're a liar. You're not great. So that's my point. You're not great. So I posted this. You're not great. God, you're not. That is triggering. Yeah. Oh, well, I'm a good dad. You're not a good dad because you don't respect me. How the fuck you showing these kids you a good father or you don't respect their mother? How are you a good father? You don't respect who brought them into this world. Carried them. You're not a great dad.
This is embarrassing.
You're an okay human.
Oh, it gets better.
You're present in the sense of...
I'm sorry, Jesus Christ. I just got worked. What did you put in this drink?
If I'm a good person to you, I posted this it's on my post and I posted on my stories before, but someone being a good person to you means they're a good person to you. Someone being a good person to everyone means that they're a good person.
In general.
And that's my point. What is the consistency of your character? You cannot say that you are a good husband or you are a good wife, because let's make it gender neutral. This ain't about just this is a humanity conversation.
We're just talking broadly.
But we're females, so we're gonna come from a female perspective. But let's talk about humanity. If
Women
you are a good,
fucked up too.
absolutely. And there were times where I had to stand in my truth and be like, I wasn't a good wife. What's more important?
Yeah.
Because to me, Jay-Z and Beyonce, I look at them and I'm like, that's a beacon of hope for me.
Yeah.
Not for me personally, but I know what they represent.
Yeah. They figuring it out.
But if Jay-Z is caught cheating on Beyonce, what does that do for culture? So is it more important to have this perception that they have a perfect relationship, even though we fucking know they don't? They're humans.
Yeah.
But is it more important that we think that they do because of the hope that it gives a culture? Going back to Martin Luther King, did we need to know that he was a cheater?
Jesus.
Would that have shifted the way we
looked at him
and received information from him and
Got
allowed
you.
him to lead
Got
us?
you.
Would we trust a man that cheats on his wife?
Got you.
Not that we don't know that he is. I think everybody kind of knew in that time what was going on.
But even like what you said, we talked about this previously with a deeper discussion. What you said about Coretta, you were like, even how she covered him and honored her husband. She covered him. She covered him and honored her husband because I'm not.
She could have blasted him. If Coretta was in 2020, what would have happened? Or 2022?
On Instagram.
On Instagram.
I'm not committed to you. I'm committed to the purpose.
I'm committed to my position in this purpose.
In this purpose. Coretta said, I don't know what video she's talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I have no idea. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
The FBI was calling her at home.
Have a blessed day.
Playing recordings of her husband.
They don't sound like anybody I know.
All the while, you know the moans of your husband. You've been intimate with him, so you know how he moans. You know what he sounds like when he's aroused. And they're playing it, and on the phone, she's like,
what? But am I committed to you or am I committed to our purpose? I'm committed.
I was sitting in this room, I would have got up and walked out.
She was committed.
Would you be able to do that in 2022?
I don't know.
I can't.
I don't know. I can't.
Yeah.
Let me get this one first. First of all, this is what happens when you allow women to define what being a man is. I'm going to start there, number one. Number two, the cheating thing at this point, has it been proven? I don't know. Even if it has been, that's between him and his wife. Stay out of people's relationships. You can take the lessons from it, but outside of that, stay out of it. Number three, this is wildly disrespectful. Let me do some resume comparisons real quick. I'm just read you two separate resumes. You tell me which one is better. Appearing on Wild 'N Out, made $1 million by the time you were 30. Comedian, actress, entrepreneur, social media personality. That's resume one. Resume two, Montgomery bus boycott, March on Washington. Both of these were economic and powerful for voting rights, by the way. An advocate for the Civil Rights Act, which eventually got passed. The March on Selma, Nobel Peace Prize winner. The Southern Christian Leadership Conference, which, by the way, served as a hub for multiple civil rights activists to strategize, plan, rest, and feel protected during these times when people were getting killed, just saying black people should be treated fairly. In the letter from the Birmingham jail, which a lot of people to this day reference as a critical point. Now, I didn't even get to the I Have a Dream speech. I talked about the other stuff. Now, you tell me which one of those resumes sounds better. I think MLK's resume sounds better.
I think
Simone, you are entitled. You couldn't even sit there and talk the way you are talking right now unless MLK did what he did. He literally died for you and me and TR. He died to make this country a better place.
Yeah.
Now, I get it. Being a good husband matters. It matters. I will never discount that.
Yeah, character.
But it's not your place to say if he was a good husband or not. There's only one person on this planet who could tell me if I'm a good husband or not. And she's upstairs right now, and if I were to ask her, she would tell you that I'm a good damn husband. You are not qualified to say if MLK was a good husband or not.
Yeah. This is, again, just listening to that is should infuriate most people. And then if you want to make it about race, then most black people should be infuriated by this. Again, when this story came out, I saw a few channels cover it, but most of them did not cover it. This is white liberals. They were nowhere to be found. They didn't say anything about it. They love to get on Trump about the whole having discussions about Martin Luther King or discussing his I Have a Dream speech at an inauguration, but they're extremely quiet on when it comes to the Sexy Reds, just saying or, using his image for whatever reason. They're quiet on the Simone, Abi Simone, having this very candid conversation about if MLK was a good father or a good husband. And this is completely out of left field. And it's like, why would this even become a conversation? I think when this video came out in June of 2022, or at least it's a clip from her show, but she didn't lose anything. Like, I th- honestly though, I think it's weird that Sexy Red caught the most smoke and B Simone didn't. And it may have to do with the way people look. I had to play that card, but I don't know what the difference is because they both were disrespectful. But I've seen people, I mean, the crazy thing, I've seen people say or create images of MLK, but no one really gets a lot of backlash. Sexy Red, I don't know why Sexy Red really got a lot of backlash. I mean, it was disrespectful, but again, I don't know why she got a lot of backlash though, because it was just her dancing with MLK. And I get using his image, especially around, his birthday, but why so many people? I mean, did his daughter say anything about B Simone talking about her father? I don't think she did.
I'm not sure, but she has a large enough following where it would have went viral. I just checked. She's got like 6 million people following her.
Yeah.
But
And
and
somebody
and
could have said something.
I actually like B Simone. I think she was when she was on Wild 'N Out, she was actually pretty hilarious. I don't know about the other stuff she does, but she's pretty funny. But this was off, man. She was so off.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, going back to like this whole conversation about disrespecting MLK. I mean, honestly though, the people that do the most disrespect has generally been from the black community. Like respectfully, like when it comes to like really celebrating MLK Day, not too many people celebrate his birthday. Not too many people actually go out and like, aspire to what he was trying to accomplish. And even with MLK though, like just having that conversation, like, do people think they're living up to his dream? Do people think the Democrats are living up to a dream? Because the Democrats think they have ownership of the MLK I Have a Dream speech, as well as just, using his image, name, and likeness, the NIL. Like they just think they have full control over something like that, and they're nowhere near living up to the I Have a Dream speech. If anything, they've derailed the black community, black America. They have used people that do not look like them to tell them like, hey, those people that look like us are setting you up. Let's have that conversation. Let's have that conversation where, people start realizing, hey, if we're really going to get to, what Martin Luther King was aspiring to, we got to start making some changes. We got to start having some hard conversations in the community versus getting mad at Sexy Red. I don't understand why people are so mad at Sexy Red. And then also, and this is a woman, his daughter going after another black woman. So
Yeah.
did she go after B Simone, who's another black woman? Does she go off? Does she go off? Does she go after any? Does she go after everyone that says anything about her father? Because again, I know the image is going to rub some people the wrong way, though, but it wasn't that terrible.
Look,
My opinion.
I'm not going to solely put this on the black community because white people hated MLK too. He was the most hated man in America shortly before he died.
Right, but
So
what I'm saying, hold on. Let's make sure we're clear. What I'm saying when it comes to aspiring to the dream of MLK, we have more of a responsibility than white Americans or
We do.
anyone that's
We
not
absolutely
white.
do.
We have the
We
most
should be defending
responsibility.
him the hardest. Absolutely, we should be.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm not going to deny that. But I just wanted to call that out too. But to be honest, going back to Sexy Red real quick, that's not even the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen with MLK.
Yeah.
I've seen people put him on flyers for strip clubs and chicken frying. Like,
Yes,
man,
thank you. Yes.
just folks are wild with it, and I think that's why Aaron Magruder. If you don't know who Aaron Magruder is, I know you've seen the Boondocks. Go back and watch that MLK episode, like when MLK never died and he woke up and he saw how much society deteriorated.
Yeah.
that's a really good episode, and that episode was spot on. Like the way we allow people to disrespect him and what he's done, whatever he had with his wife is him and his wife's business. It does not take away from the fact that he benefited everybody in America, let alone the world. You
Yeah.
can't take that away, B. Simone, and you were wrong.
Yeah, and B. Simone was way out of pocket. But you know the crazy thing about if MLK was actually cheating or if he was not cheating, I find it like dastardly that when it comes to like believing the government, this is the one time people believe the government. Like any other time, like nope, they're gonna try to kill us. They're gonna try to use that the CVID to take out black people. They're gonna try to they put crack into the black communities. They have all these laws. Like nope, I don't trust the government. But the one thing when it comes to MLK, people are like yeah, it happened. So I find that like extremely hilarious though. But it's just level of hypocrisy. But yeah, B. Simone, this is probably one of the most egregious. Like I could see like promoters just doing some dumbass shit, but this was way more egregious because she had no reason. Only thing she did, only thing she accomplished, which flies way too under the radar, is dismantling great black men. And we're gonna say men in general, but in this case, we're talking about MLK, and this is a black woman. Imagine if a white women were saying anything about MLK. Imagine this would be all over the news. They probably would get deplatformed, all because they said, hey, MLK was cheating on his wife and he wasn't a great man. Imagine that conversation taking part with two white people. Just imagine what would happen. But, B. Simone gets a pass, but everybody's going after Sexyy Red. I don't like the Sexyy Red like that. Like, she does a lot of crazy stuff and promotes a lot of crazy things, but Sexyy Red, I think it's just too easy to put it all on Sexyy Red though. But yeah, B. Simone completely out of pocket.
Hey, why? You know what? Let's be controversial a little bit, because you know who else deserves a little bit of smoke, because she hinted that this was a thing too with the whole cheating. Oprah Winfrey. You remember that movie Selma? If you ever seen the
Oh
beginning of it, yeah, they implied it there too.
yeah.
So people are complicated, man. This is what I know, and I judge a tree by the fruit that it bears. And I would argue that MLK bared some pretty good damn fruit.
Yeah. And I gotta say this too. And let's just say hypothetically it was true. Okay. His wife, that is for his wife to say something if she wanted to say something. We are looking at people we aspire to, that are the pinnacle of black marriages, the Jay-Z's and Beyonce's. Well, how'd that work out? We have Salone giving Jay-Z a two-piece, and then we have Beyonce making that Lemonade album, alluding that Jay-Z might have been stepping out. All right. And then we got the whole Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, who's probably heading to some type of divorce or something's off in that marriage. But when it comes to MLK, it's just open season. So yeah, and it's crazy too, and I just thought of this too. When who caught a lot of smoke by talking about Coretta Scott was Kane the Conqueror dude.
Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, Jonathan Majors. They eviscerated him, and
yeah, he's goofy.
Yeah, I know he's goofy, but that rubs so many people. Well, it only happened in the black community, and I only saw a lot of black women talking about it, but they went off on Jonathan Majors, and I was like, yeah, you can't be making your plain Jane Kaylee, who was a costume designer or makeup artist. I don't know what the hell she was, but he was wrong for that, trying to upgrade her lifestyle and end up blowing up in his face. Like, so I get all that though, but man, maybe that's the ultimate question, man. Like the Coretta Scott Kings, the Jackie Kennedy Onassis, those women are long gone. Those women let a lot of things slide with their men. And like I said, I don't know officially on the MLK one, but the John F. Kennedy one, we do know about happening. And I don't know, maybe I'll even throw in like Hillary Clinton though, because she could have definitely said do a divorce. And walk out on bail. But I mean, I guess that was paid tenfold though because they tried to make her president though. So actually, I'm gonna retract that statement. But again, the women like that, they don't exist anymore. You got the people like the B. Simones that want you to air out your husbands. You want people they want Michelle to walk away from Barack. They would be like, I love that for her. So
that's empowerment.
Yeah, exactly. That's the type of people, the type of marriages we're building in the community. So, anyways.
That being said, I understand what she said. I just don't agree with it.
Facts. All right. Next topic. All right. What we got next? College is a scam.
You want to do that one, or you want to hit the Nelly and Snoop?
It's up to you. What do you got left in you?
I got a good 30 minutes. I need to get a new chair. It keeps dropping. We can probably get one more in and chop it up for 30.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, I really want to do that. Let's see where we can go with.
Yeah, let's see if we can get through them both then.
Yeah.
All right, we can do college then.
Yeah, let's do college real quick.
Over the past 5 decades, most of them built it starting with a trade.
Oh man, I don't think we can do this one.
The music, yeah.
Music. Hold on. I'll just restart it though.
Yeah, you're right. The music is gonna get a strike. I need to think about that.
Yeah, I don't know. We can do this one because he's talking way too fast. Yeah, we're not gonna be able to do this one.
Give me like 2 minutes. I want to see if I can find the one without music. Oh,
yeah.
I always forget that guy's name. What is his name? God, he's an actor and he plays football too. Hold on, just give me one quick second, see if I can find it. Damn, what is his name? It's gonna if I can do his name, I can find it real quick. Does it say what his name is on the clip?
I think it does. Yeah, it's got to. Hold on, let me pull it up. Big Homie's House or JoJo. Big Homie K-Doc.
Okay, let me see if I can find it.
DeVell Ellis.
That's what his name is, DeVell Ellis. Okay. All right, DeVell Ellis. I'm just gonna do a real quick search, see if I can find it. All right, it ain't up. Fuck it. Shit, let's skip it then.
Yeah, I gotta strip out the music.
Yeah, that music is a killer. I gotta keep that in mind. Find stuff.
Oh, you know what? I think YouTube might be able to strip it out. Fuck it. I don't want to do the whole thing and then we can't do it.
Yeah.
All right. I'll just have to look into it later. All right, let's just go to the Nelly.
I put on for my city, and I try to bring my city up every step of the way. I did not know you was riding with me because you thought I would ride for who you voted for. I didn't know that. I apologize. I apologize. I didn't know that I had to agree with your political choices, and I thought it was the things that you do, not the things that you say should be done. If you follow what I do, this shouldn't even be an argument. He's the president. He won. This isn't a campaign. This isn't an RNC. I'm not out on the political campaign. I didn't get none of that 1.5.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
to try to help somebody get voted.
Kamala didn't invite you to
No. She didn't invite me.
She didn't invite me either, man. I was going to do all at home.
Yeah, see, man. Willie D is wrong for this one. I love Willie D's music. I am just so disappointed with the way he's been acting on social media. He's okay. I mean, he can do whatever he wants, but when it comes to like just talking to black men, they have to get in line. And this is ridiculous because he's essentially going after all the black celebrities that perform at Trump's inauguration, or at least I think it was like a pre-party inauguration dinner or something, whatever it was. But Snoop was there, Soulja Boy was there. We can't play the Soulja Boy clip because he cusses like every other word. He cusses like I mean, he's a terrible sailor. But when it comes to like these black celebrities, there you can't go off the plantation. You can't take a step off the plantation. And it's not just black celebrities too, because Carrie Underwood, she caught some smoke as well too. So she was just singing the I think she was just singing the anthem at the inauguration. It's like you guys you don't own these celebrities. And for the most part, these are paid. I think Nelly and Snoops and Soulja, I think they were paid. I don't know if Carrie Underwood was paid or not. She probably was paid actually, but they're not allowed to work for anyone that's Republican. What's the most famous line that everybody knows about Michael Jordan? I don't have to even say it out loud. Like people already know the line about the shoes.
Yeah, this is too close-minded for me, but
I know, but you know the line, right? I'm talking about,
yeah,
right?
Republicans buy sneakers too. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Which everyone's okay with that, and no one ever like goes after Michael Jordan for any of that stuff. Like he ain't lost no shoe deals over stuff like that. But we got Willie D here, who's supposed to be, I guess he's trying to position himself like the new or regain the mantle of being Shannon Sharp that Shannon Sharp took from him. But Willie D, I mean, phenomenal, rapper, but this is ridiculous. Going after Nelly and all the other Diddy crats going after the black celebrities. The only one I think you could probably have some concern with is probably Snoop, because prior to the election, Snoop had all the smoke for Trump, and now he's playing a show for Trump. Or
Yeah, that clip didn't age well of him calling people coons that was performing for Trump.
exactly, man.
I'm gonna start with Willie D, man.
Yeah, let me see if I can find that clip too.
Yeah, why you digging that up? I look, Willie D is a legend to me. I like the Ghetto Boys is one of my favorite groups
Yeah,
of all
I like
time.
Willie D. I get it.
Even outside of that, Willie D is very active in his town of Houston, and he does a lot of great things in there that I've read about over the years. So from my perspective, I'm gonna give him a little bit of grace, man. We just don't agree on this particular subject.
Hell no.
That's
Hell
number
no.
one. Now, number two, I'm more familiar with Nelly because he's a Midwesterner. We're Midwesterners. I know for a fact that Nelly's been running a nonprofit at the very least since the early 2000s. Yep, I just looked it up, for Show Kids Foundation. Look, Nelly has done a lot of work in leukemia. He's giving back to his community. He does a lot of stuff with Make a Wish. Snoop has his youth football league. Snoop has had players that have played in the Super Bowl that came from his league.
Yeah.
He's taking kids off
They
the
give
streets
back to the
and
community.
giving them a purpose and something to strive for.
Yeah.
So when I hear people say, let's cancel them, all of that stuff that they've done, you just want to completely wipe it away just because they went to go get a bag and have a conversation with the other side. This reminds me of all the goofy people that had smoke for Ice Cube for sitting down and talking with Trump.
Oh man.
Cube caught a lot of strays just from having a conversation. Steve Harvey did too, by the way, but black women love Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
But Cube is the one I want to focus on because instead of throwing a hissy fit and freaking out on everybody, Cube just kept doing the work. And eventually he locked in that $100 million contract with black vendors for the NFL, with the NFL. So while y'all sitting here just being loyal to one side, you don't have the foresight to see that, hey, we need to go to the table and let both parties know our vote is for sale. What you gonna do? What you gonna do to get our vote?
Yeah.
You're just gonna keep going over here and ignoring everybody and just listening to what the women and the LGBT folks want. Ignore everybody else and isolate. You don't want to make them compete for you. You don't want to make them fight for you. And this is why we finished last.
Yeah.
Y'all canceled Chrisette Michelle, and I remember the interview she did on the Breakfast Club. She was very depressed about that. Like people that look like her turning her back on her just because she went to sing a song and probably got paid a good salary for it.
Yeah.
Get the bag, man.
That reminds me, the HBCU marching band, Mean Green. I'll find. I gotta get the name, but the HBCU band. People lost their minds that they were going to the inauguration. Everyone, look. If the president of the United States asks you, regardless of who the president is, they ask you to, come perform. You go. Like, don't be like Michelle. Don't be like these white liberals. Don't be like these Diddycrats. You go perform. You do it for your country. Like, I don't know what it is where people can just kind of pick and choose. And then also, we're going to really find out how woke the NFL and NBA are, though, because after they win the championships and maybe even baseball, if they're going to skip it, because if I recall, the Golden State Warriors skipped the White House visit. Like, that's just disrespectful. Like, this is the president of the United States. He has the power to create laws, executive orders. We're seeing that play out now. And where are these athletes at in these conversations? They're not saying anything about what Trump's doing or some of the executive things. Only people I see saying or having a problem with it are middle class or poor liberals and rich actors. That's it. I don't see any any athletes coming out there, because the athletes know with Trump at the helm, it's going to be a better situation for them, for their money. They're not going to be coming out here trying to talk any mess. And maybe the commissioner of those leagues sent out some notes that like, hey, we're going to chill back on some of this activism crap. We are seeing and we can see some of the downfall of the activism take effect on the NBA, though, because we've discussed on this channel about why they have low ratings. And so the activism, I believe, is part of it, why they have low ratings.
Yeah, and the pushback for this is going to be that they're going to call Trump a racist. They're going to bring up the Central Park Five. They're going to bring up the housing and everything else. But
Which
for
Nelly
him,
actually has a conversation about that a little bit longer in the video, though. But what I've learned is when you try to tell people about any of that stuff, they don't care. It's like you can
no, they don't. And look, Nelly, I tell you this too, because I learned this real quick about him every time he goes on First Take. Nelly is a great debater. If you're gonna call something out, he generally does a really good job at articulating and substantiating whatever it is that he's saying. To be honest with you, I'm a little bit more leery of Snoop because he keeps trying to distance himself from Trump when at one point it was obvious y'all was hanging out and y'all were friends. I don't know what changed
all these rappers are
or
hanging
what
out with
altered.
Trump.
Yeah, like I can pull multiple songs right now where Snoop is giving Trump props and kind of like praising him on some of this stuff. So I don't get it, man. I don't understand what the big deal is with talking to the other side that you disagree with and trying to find some common ground and some compromise, because that's what adults do. That's what married people do. That's what people do at work. But for some reason, you don't want to do it here.
Yep. And here's that 2017 and now.
So ain't nobody gonna perform for Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you jigaboo ass niggas gonna be the first one to do it? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the fuck out one of you
Embarrassing
Uncle Tom ass niggas for doing it. Which one of you niggas gonna do it first? Osby's the one that performs for himself.
All right, that's all the music we can do there. But Snoop reminds me of the women that are telling you to leave your man while they got a man. Like it reminds me of the folks giving you that relationship advice while they're doing something different in their relationships. Like that's what Snoop reminds me when he did stuff like that. But I mean, Trump, here's the thing about Trump. As much as people talk about Trump and say he's a terrible person, Trump has, if you can, find a way to like say like, hey, I was wrong on this, Trump's gonna let you back in the circle in most cases. Well, maybe not Mike Pence. Mike Pence is done. He's cooked. But for most people, especially with JD Vance, and I was against Trump like back in 2016, 2017, until I, found, I was like, oh, they've been lying. This is kind of, they've been hiding this information. So for the folks out there, I mean, you can have a turnabout. It's just Snoop went all the way and said, XYZ. When I was on the Democrat side, I wasn't like going after black conservatives. I wasn't going after white conservatives. It was like, all right, I'm on this side, you're on that side. We have different ideologies, but I'm not going to start calling you a sellout. Now that I look at things from a conservative view, I'm looking at people like you need to get off the Democrat plantation. That's why I say Diddy-crats. That's why I say a lot of these people will not leave the plantation. I mean, at some point, we're going to sell some merch. We're going to have some shirts that say left the Democrat plantation. Like, people got, at some point, people are going to have to try to wake up. Like, and the longer that people, like, if you're going to listen to Snoop, Snoop is telling you why he's working with Trump, because he's getting paid. He does, a lot of these celebrities or people, influencers, a lot of times they say this stuff just to get the views and clicks and likes or whatever, but they don't really dislike Trump. Kind of like reminds like Stephen A. Stephen A. has to say he doesn't like Trump, so he doesn't get fired from ESPN. I think he does like Trump, and I think he did vote for Trump.
Didn't we just find out that Madam VP Kamala Harris paid people to essentially be her marketing tool?
I didn't even get to that, but
So
yeah.
why is, like, what's the big deal if this is how business is done?
Yes.
I think it's trash, but like Beyonce took a big check, Oprah took a big check. She said it was to her company, but she took the check.
Yes.
Call Her Daddy podcast took 800K. We talked about this in
Just to build a
previous
set.
episodes. We talked about all this in previous episodes, but stop being one sided. Look, you need to make them fight for your vote. They work for you.
Yeah.
They work for you. There's nothing wrong with entertaining both sides and saying, what are you going to do for us?
Yeah.
And until we do that on one unified accord, we're going to keep having these conversations every 2 to 4 years.
Yeah, and I want to say the most disrespectful thing when it comes to stuff like this is it's so easy to tear down men. We just had multiple conversations about people just tearing down men, and it's just normal. It's just like we had Snoop who said multiple things about black people. He's really talking about black men because I really think he was just talking about black men in that case, not black women, because I don't know who that would have been, like maybe, Cardi or something if they were going to perform. But I'm not to say Cardi would ever perform for Trump, but I don't know what woman he was thinking would go perform, but he's really talking about black men. And here he is just, DJing, and he just dropped an album a few weeks ago, which was actually pretty good. But it is what it is. And folks, you're gonna have to leave the plantation. White liberals, you're gonna have to, I don't know what is equivalent to the plantation for y'all, but y'all gonna have to leave that plantation as well too, because the Democrats have not learned their lesson. And I wanted to say this earlier, when it comes to like who's running the Democratic Party, it's still the Nancy Pelosi's, the Joe Bidens, even Barack to a degree. It's those same liberals and or Democrats. Also, some of the progressives are getting in there, the AOCs, but they don't live the life that they're telling you to live. They're not. You said earlier they're not for marriage. AOC has a problem with white people. She's married to a whole white dude. Nancy Pelosi is trying to, become the richest option trader in the world. Like, and nobody seems to have a problem with that. They're not
Insider trading on options too.
Yeah,
by the way.
insider trading, exactly. They're not living the same life that they're telling you how you should live. And so people got to start opening their eyes. So,
Hey, can we get to the meat of all this? If you're getting your political advice from a celebrity, you're an idiot. Can we
yeah,
just let's just say, if you are voting based on celebrity endorsements and celebrity analysis,
Swifties.
you are an idiot, and you are what's wrong. You are the reason why our country is getting dumber. You're literally the reason why. I just need you
Yes.
to know that, and I want all the smoke that comes with that. Send me your hate mail if you disagree with that.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that wraps up things for us. Last words, MC?
Yeah, there were so many topics this week. We were debating on if we were going to talk about the take it outside in the congressional meetings, but man, it was just so much in so little time. But we'll keep pushing out that good content week after week. We appreciate y'all rocking with us.
Yeah. And we saw a lot of engagement with the video with Randy Rosario, guys. So thanks for supporting the channel, and we're gonna keep it moving.
Absolutely.
Yep. Peace.
Peace.